If you're someone who only feels productive when you're stressed, here's why. For many high achievers, anxiety isn't just a problem, it becomes the engine. Anxiety turns everything into a deadline, and then performing is what finally brings relief. First comes the discomfort, then the sprint, then that sense of relief. You feel that internal pressure. You move fast to make it stop. Your brain quietly files it away as proof that performance equals safety. So over time, you don't crave more anxiety, you crave more pressure. Tighter deadlines, higher stakes, bigger threats, because calm begins to feel flat and maybe even unsafe. My name is Suave, and I'm a licensed therapist with over 10,000 hours of clinical experience. And in this video, I'll break down why this pattern can feel like focus even when it's narrowing you, and how to keep your drive without needing stress to access it. Anxiety doesn't make you better. It just makes inaction feel unbearable. Your skill still does the work. The anxiety just makes stopping feel almost impossible. And then relief follows completion, or meeting the task, or getting the win. That's the real wire. It's not that performance equals strength. It's that there's a payoff on the other side of it. And over time, people stop calling it anxiety and start calling it drive. Wear it like a badge of honor. But deep down, the loop is really about escape or avoidance, not really about excellence. And so in this, we say that anxiety works, not that people are craving anxiety, but the pressure that comes from it pushes them in a way that they can excel, at least in the way that they see it. It doesn't work though because it's optimal. It works because it's familiar. These become the waters that the person swims in. And it was most likely the waters that they've been swimming in long before what's happening in their career. There's a difference between a known system and a good system. And we'll tend to lean into a known system, even if there's a system out there that's much better, because that's what we've used to survive throughout our history. Those waters we swim in are familiar to us. We can excel in them, and maybe not excel by having the greatest results in the world or what we really want, but excel in the way that we can live through it. We can survive it. So we'll see high performers under stress moving very quickly, maybe looking very decisive, maybe being very decisive. It's not necessarily optimal. Survival mode is not built for nuance. It's built for us to be able to get to safety as quickly as possible. Even if it doesn't feel great or get us to the place that we want to go, it's about surviving that next moment. It narrows focus, it kills creativity and perspective, and it optimizes for escaping danger and seeking safety, not solving complex problems. And so we see these people who are high performing in their career and having what looks like great results, but they're almost beating everybody else while they're impaired, almost having one hand tied behind their back. Imagine what their results would look like and how they would experience them if they were able to move out of seeking safety and survival and into being intentional and methodical. I find when I work with so many people that they end up having good be the enemy of best. It's just that their good result looks better as somebody else's even great result. And so they can fool themselves and others into settling for a mediocre experience of life. What I almost always find is this didn't start in their career. It started in an environment where being alert really mattered. For many of these folks, skills like reading the room aren't things that were learned later in life or that they trained for their career. It was born out of the need to survive the environments that they came up in. It was a survival response. Maybe then doing things right didn't feel like ambition. It felt like perfection that was demanded of them, or something that they needed to do just to get approval. And approval wasn't freely given. It was earned through performance. And so this person grows up and comes into the world, and excellence becomes an armor that they wear. They can achieve results better than anyone else, and that keeps a distance between them and everyone else. So we'll see that the same loop that kept someone safe as a child helps them build a career. And that can be awesome. They have that ability to transfer that skill. It's just when that skill is being run automatically and unconsciously as something that they need to do just to feel okay in the world, they end up having great looking results, but they're not able to enjoy them. They're always moving the marker. Like, I finished this, what's next? What's next? It's never enjoying what is. Ambition isn't bad. When ambition has you, that it becomes ineffective and can destroy your internal experience of life and have an impact, not only the quality of life, but the quality of your relationships and even the quality of your health. And how this happens is your nervous system doesn't really know the difference between now and 20 years ago. So the wins that it creates in the boardroom don't necessarily stay contained there. It's like they found an environment for this survival mode that's running almost constantly to thrive in, and they get rewarded for it. The problem is many of the other environments that they're in, their social circles, their relationships with their children, don't call for that level of ambition or energy, but what they're rewarded for and getting these results kind of ratchets up the intensity. They need bigger threats just to get the same focus. They push themselves right up to the deadline just to be able to get that rush and satisfaction of getting it done at the last second, turning something that might be a simple process into almost a battle. That impacts those around them, not only the other people at work, but the people that they're in relationship with when they leave work. Calm becomes not only foreign, but can feel unsafe and even like a threat. There's almost no ability to relax. They need to keep moving and fighting all of the time. Urgency becomes desperation. There's a need for not only the pressure and the focus, but the perceived win on the other side. They start manufacturing this desperation for them and those on their teams because calm can make them feel like they're losing their edge. And now the danger isn't just behavioral, it becomes existential. If this level of anxiety and intensity built your success, who are you without it? And so they don't even experience it as anxiety, experience it as who they are. Slowing down feels like becoming average. Peace feels like weakness. Dysregulation gets defended because it feels productive. So in this way, they're not defending their anxiety or holding on to it because they love suffering. They defend it because they've mistaken dysregulation for drive. And without that drive, where's the identity? How will they get to success? And removing it can mean completely losing yourself. Anxiety was never the edge. It was the tax that was paid to access the edge. Intelligence, discipline, skill, they're always yours. Anxiety just made stopping feel more dangerous than continuing. And really, people aren't performing because of anxiety. They're performing to escape it. Even in trying to escape this and run from something, there was enough skill present to keep winning anyway. There's this loop, and trying to just eliminate anxiety keeps you fighting the system, not the loop. Suppressing it just reinforces it. The missing skill isn't calm. The missing skill is capacity, the ability to be with discomfort, the ability to feel bad, to raise the emotional capacity and the distress tolerance to experience discomfort, to be with it, to be present with it, and then choose on the other side of it, or choose in spite of it. Even though you're unconscious to it, moving from a life that's directed by this avoidance of a feeling to a life that's directed by our commitments, our principles, our morals. A life that we're choosing, not one that's being chosen for us. Even if in the one where it's being chosen for us by our emotions, the results look really great. Again and again, I find the people who are able to get still, be with their discomfort, and move toward being more methodical and intentional, more often than not, their results skyrocket, and more importantly, their ability to enjoy their results skyrockets. It improves and expands exponentially. That capacity allows you to be able to feel the spike of energy without immediately converting it into action. That's where the work is. Not learning to manage anxiety, not suppressing it, not shutting it down, not avoiding it, but staying in your body long enough to choose your response rather than to react from the discomfort. The point of this video isn't to demonize anxiety. It's to stop confusing dysregulation with drive. Anxiety didn't create your capability. It just became the trigger you use to access it. So this week, practice one thing. When you feel that spike, don't immediately convert it into action. Label it. Downshift your body using slow, relaxing breaths. And then choose your next move from center, from a state of being grounded. That's capacity. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.